Sunny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love this show so goddamn much. This is my favorite show of all time. This is the funniest show I've ever seen. It's the best sitcom of all time. The characters are hilarious. The writing's amazing. The recurring characters are incredible. The whole show is so chaotic and so gross and weird, but it works so well. I have seen the show 3 times, all the way through. Some would say that's a lot. Some would say that's too many times, but I say no. I say that it's not enough times. I'm gonna cut this part out. I've seen. Should I just start attaching?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I've seen this show 3 times, and on my 3rd time, I decided I'll rank the episodes. So that's what I did. I ranked all the episodes, all 161. I want to preface by saying I think there's only one bad episode in the show. I hate it. It's bad. I don't like it. On my 3rd rewatch, I skipped it because I put at the bottom I don't like it. But every other episode they're all good. They're all like really funny. So that's what this video is. I'm going to be ranking them. There's 161 episodes. I'm not talking about all those episodes. I'm just going to show I'm just going to show on the screen real quick numbers 161 through 11. Alright. I'm back to film the next part of this fucking video. At the 10th spot, I have Season 7, Episode 2, The Gang Goes to the Jersey Shore. In this episode, the gang goes to the Jersey Shore. It's pretty self-explanatory. This show is so fucking good at episodes that aren't in the regular location. Like, Charlie always has a problem. In the show, Charlie has a problem with leaving Philly. He has a weird thing. He doesn't like leaving. He freaks out. But in this episode, he kind of copes with it, and he kind of enjoys his time at the Jersey Shore, looking for sea specimens is so funny because it's just so weird. He's just picking up dead crabs and shit and bottles and broken fucking glass, and it's so weird, but it's so funny. And in the episode, so they all want to go to the Jersey Shore, and Dennis and Diaz, let's go to the Jersey Shore, but then Mac, Frank, and Charlie are like, no, that's weird. We don't want to go. The Jersey Shore sucks. And as the episode goes on, those three sort of start to like the shore more, while Dennis and Dee start to realize that it's not what it was when they were kids. And they find homeless men having sex under the boardwalk, stray dogs, they witness a murder. It's a crazy episode. And Danny DeVito is hilarious in this episode. Just his delivery of some lines, like the rum ham.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Where's the rum ham? What? Where's the rum?
Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just a great delivery. And it's just a funny episode all around. And at the end of the episode, Dennis and Dee are screaming at them, telling them to leave.
And I was wrong. I love the Jersey Shore.
Oh, you love it? Oh, you love it so much? Here, get in the goddamn car, you fat ass!
And it just, I don't know, it's a great example of how selfish they are, selfish and entitled they are. So yeah, it's a really good episode. I have it at number 10. Okay, at number 9, I have Season 2, Episode 2, The Gang Goes Jihad. When I tell people about Sunny, and I tell them to watch the show, this is probably the episode, most of the time, the episode that I tell them to watch. It's so good. Ann Archer, who plays Barbara, is so funny. She's such a good actress, and she should have been in more episodes. They killed her character off too soon. I don't know. It would have been better to see her in more episodes. She was really funny. The scene where she goes into Charlie and Frank's apartment and slaps the shit out of him. Beautiful.
No!
Just like, Jesus, Frank. This is how I don't know. Her delivery's hilarious, and she's a great actress. She's really funny in this. And all the scenes of Mac, Dennis, and Charlie tiptoeing around using the word Jew and thinking they know what's going on in Israel. Something about people being afraid of being racist is so funny to me, and Sunny always does that really well. It's always, I don't know, something about people being afraid of, like I just said, being afraid of being racist is very funny to me. It's done very well. So yeah, this is a great episode, one of my favorites, and I have it at number 9. All right, at number 8, I have season 2, episode 3, Dennis and Dee go on welfare. Um, this is a classic episode. One of the first episode where Frank starts to get involved in their schemes, their little schemes and plans. Yeah, this episode is another great example of how spoiled and entitled Dennis and Dia. Frank starts working the bar, so they quit and they don't want to get jobs, so they just go on welfare and they get addicted to crack. And I don't know, it's very funny. It's a very eye-opening episode for these characters. And the end of the episode where Frank goes,
Because you are crackheads, children.
is one of my favorite lines that I quote all the time. But yeah, great episode. At number 7, I have season 9, episode 2, Gun Fever 2, Still Hot. Something that Sunny does a lot and something they do very well is they'll touch on current event topics and political things that are going on at the time of them making these episodes. And this episode, a very controversial topic at the time, was gun control. And this episode is they're just so good. It never comes off too preachy, and you never really know what side they're on. I mean, well, something, but with this episode, you don't know what side they're on, like the writers, and I like that. I don't want to know people's political opinions. I don't care. I don't fucking care, man. I don't. In this episode, Frank goes on the news, telling people about how he almost got attacked in an alleyway, and he used his guns to protect himself, and gets everyone riled up. Dennis and Dee are on the side. They think that guns are too easy to acquire and they should not be as easy to get. On the other hand, Mac and Charlie are on the other side. They think more guns should be on the street, and both sides are kind of hot about the wrong things. And just as the episode goes on, they both realize that they both sides switch. They completely cross over each other, and at the end of the episode, it just finds out that Frank was doing that because he invested a lot in the gun store and he just made a shit ton of money. So it was a great episode. It wasn't really a comment on gun control, more of a comment on just no matter what's going on in the news, there's always someone making a shit ton of money off of it. So it's really good. It's a really great episode. It's also very fucking funny. Yeah, I have that number. Whatever, I had that. At number 6, I have season 7, episode 7, Charlie McDennis, The Game of Games. I don't have much to say about this episode. It's very funny. It's one of the best. Scene where Frank has to eat the cake ingredients and he comes out with flour all over his goddamn face. It's so funny. I think it's really funny. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I think it's a great episode. It goes to show how well the show is, or how good the show is. I don't know, man. Next episode! At number 5, I have season 11, episode 5, Mac and Dennis Move to the Suburbs. This is one of the most iconic episodes. The horror elements that are used in this episode feels like The Shining. It's very funny. I'm gonna point out the galactically obvious and say that when horror elements are used in mundane situations, it's very funny. No shit, but I don't know. I think the show does a really good job at that. They're so weird and like it's just I don't know. And just something about and the thing with the smoke detector chirping and Dennis lying about hearing it, and that line was like,
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time! Then why wouldn't you say something? Because I hate you!
This episode really shows how good of an actor Glenn Howerton is. He's so good. At number 4, I have season 8, episode 9, The Gang Dines Out. This episode is so good. I've been saying that for all the top 10, but it is. Again, this episode is a classic showcase of just so many of these characters' toxic traits. Dennis, how controlling and narcissistic Dennis is, how clingy Mac is, and how inconsiderate of everyone who's around her. How inconsiderate Diaz. It's also the first episode with the waiter. I know he was in Sweet Diaz a Heart Attack, but this is the first episode where he's like the waiter, and he's great. He's a great straight man. He's very funny. I was watching the Sunny podcast, and they had him on, and they were just talking about how they would just crack up on set because of him. Like you have a cast like Sunny, who they're all weirdos and psychopaths, and then there's just a normal guy and who plays off of them, and to make them look that much more extreme. But yeah, it's a great episode. It's a classic. It's one of my favorites. It's time to move on to the next episode. At number 3, I have season 6, episode 5, Mac and Charlie White Trash. I honestly don't know what it is about this episode that makes it so funny. It's just very funny. Dennis and Dee thinking they're high class just because Frank was rich and raised them, just because they were raised rich. They're so entitled. It's crazy. And Mac and Charlie are so white trash. It's just two extremes. And then Frank is just gross. He's gross. He's so gross. Frank is fucking so gross, dude. But it's so funny, dude. Oh my god. When he greases himself up.
We ate the watermelon. Butter me up. I'm going to be the watermelon. I'm going to jump in the pool. Do my back. I can't do my back. Go ahead.
He's so funny. Danny DeVito. There's no one else who could have played Frank. Danny DeVito was perfect. He was perfect. There's no one else who could have played him. So yeah, I love that episode. Next one. Next episode. At number 2, I have season 2. Nope. At number 2, I have. Hold on. At season 2, I have. Oh my god! What am I saying again? At number 2, I have season 4, episode 13, The Night Man Cometh. This episode is so good. They actually did a live show of this episode. I don't know what year. Probably. It's old, and I'm not old, and I don't care. It's so good. It's so weird. Charlie's so weird, and it's just the play is weird, and he's weird, and Mac is weird, and they're all weird, and it's just a great example of that. Mac doing karate, the rape scene, Frank talking about getting into a boy's hole.
You want the baby boy's hole, you gotta pay the troll toll. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in. Troll toll.
What you say?
Charlie proposing. It's so funny. And also the part of the song where Charlie goes like,
Will you come on stage and join me in this thing called matrimony?
it's just, I say that all the time to myself just because that line is so catchy to me. Yeah, the songs are funny. Some of the songs are just so iconic. Yeah, great episode. Moving on. Number 1, the best. On top, the king. The best episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is season 9, episode 3. The gang tries desperately to win an award. I've probably seen this episode 10 times. I showed this episode to one of my friends to try to get him into the show. And immediately he pointed out to me, he was like, oh, it's like a metaphor because they never win any awards. The show never wins any awards. I was like, fuck. I never realized it. It's so blatantly obvious. I never realized it. I feel like such an idiot. But that's what it is. The show, they try to win an award for their bar, and they never won an award because they're horrible people. And no one wants to. They're just gross, and no one wants to go to their bar. They're lowbrow. They're lowbrow, and they never win awards. They go to this other bar called Suds. It's won a bunch of awards, and it's so obviously lampooning like just like cheesy sitcoms that always win these Emmys. And I'm still so pissed that I never noticed it. This is like my favorite episode. I've never noticed it, but it's so obvious. Yeah, it's just another like. It's just, I don't know. It's the perfect representation of what the show is. The characters are horrible people. They don't care. They don't fuck. That's the worst part of it. They're horrible people, and they don't care. It's hilarious. It's a great episode. And yeah, that's my ranking of all the Sunny episodes. You don't like it? Suck my balls. I don't care. Adios.